And this review is completely sponsored by you guys over on Patreon who support the channel. Thank you guys for doing that. On my way to kind of making completely independent gear reviews, and it's awesome. It's only influenced by you and by me. So I really wanted to like this. I thought, I had maybe an ultralight option for the trail. I wanted to make sure I put this thing through some solid testing. So it's a hollow fiber filter, of course, just like the Sawyer Squeeze and the Sawyer Mini, but the cartridge only lasts about 2,000 liters. It's kind of the life of the filter on the inside, the hollow fibers. And this thing weighs about 5 to 6 ounces, of course, depending on what you get, how much water is in it. The design is pretty simple, at least the concept is, in terms of you drop this end into your water source. They suggest you kind of keep this hose at a 45-degree angle. You use a pump action to kind of get the water out through clean. It kind of forces it through those kind of straw-like hollow fibers, and that's pretty simple, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and cover the positive. Tested this thing out on a 5-day trip in Utah where the water sources were pretty plentiful. So we had a lot of lake water, a lot of rivers and creeks as well. And so I thought this was a good place to test it, and it did get a bunch of testing and water run through it. Overall, this thing is faster than comparable kind of gravity feed filters. And what I mean by that is the overall process is faster. Now, when I went to Utah, I brought a dirty bag for this thing just in case I needed it, because this thing does not need a dirty bag. You can drop it directly into the water source, kind of pump or a filter, carpenter bee, directly into the water bottle, and you're done. And so that's what I've noticed is when I first started filtering is that I just had to drop this thing in the water, pump directly into the bottle, and I was done with my 2 liters pretty quickly, while those guys were, first of all, using a plastic scoop to scoop into their dirty water bags, and then attach their filters to those dirty water bags, and then filter into their bottles. So overall, faster if you really had to time it. One thing I did notice is that this filter slowed down quite a bit though. In terms of when I compare it to my Squeeze or minis that I've seen, it seemed like this thing got gunked up a lot faster than those comparable filters. Not only in terms of overall flow, but the pre-filter right here actually got gunked up quite a bit, where I found myself constantly cleaning it. You have to make sure that this part is not anywhere close to kind of the bottom of the source, because if that gets muddy, your overall suction through the filter is gonna be nothing. It just did not work well in those kind of gnarly water sources where the Sawyer Squeeze was kind of powering through without a major issue. What works really well on this is backflushing is really super easy. You kind of fill this bulb up with half with water. It's a simple shaking action, and I'll link to MSR's kind of cleaning video down below, but it's really simple to backflush. I'm not sure exactly how good a job it does. I'm not really too sold on filters that just need kind of a shake action to clean itself out, because you're not directly forcing water, like the Sawyers, for example, where you're directly forcing water against the typical flow action. It gets cleaner, but it's easy enough to do. And I was able to do it several times on the trail, especially where we had water sources that were a little gunky. It made it really nice that I could do that on the trail without needing a syringe or anything else to backflush, or using a smart water ball to backflush. Additional positive is that the life of this filter, even though it is 2,000 liters for the cartridge is replaceable. And so if it does get gunked up and backflushing doesn't work, you don't lose the whole thing. You just replace the cartridge on the inside and you're good to go. The major drawback for me, and why I say I really wanted to like this, is that the action of filtering is super annoying and it gets old really quickly for me. Now, I'm not a trail runner, and I could see how being able to drop this directly into the water source and drinking directly from the filter would be kind of cool. Most of the times when I'm filtering, I want to go ahead and take my pack off. I'm purposefully filtering. It's not something where I'm kind of just filtering on the go and I have to get somewhere else right away. I found that over time, that squeeze action gets really old fast, and I just got tired of it. I got tired of not being able to just kind of set a gravity filter up, or just even attaching to a dirty water bag and letting it do the work for me. I felt like this one, I know it sounds like first world problems, this one just was too much work. It felt like I couldn't take the time to take my pack off and relax and just let the water flow through the filter. I had to do this thing all the time. Another part of the annoyance with this thing, I don't want to come across like I'm everything about this I hate. That's not the case. It's just not for me. But the angle at which you have to hold this, you have to angle it into the bottle just right. Now, if you're filtering into a water bladder, great. I don't think you'll have an issue with a wider mouth bottle like a Nalgene or an open water bladder. But if you're filtering like me, typically into smart water bottles, you kind of have to get the water bottle at the right angle. You have to get the filter at the right angle and everything just right in order for you to be able to squirt the filtered water directly into the bottle. Another thing I liked about this filter is that cross-contamination is minimized. So when you're filtering with a dirty water bag and let's say your Sawyer squeeze, I always have tried to make sure I carry a packed towel to kind of wipe everything down, make sure no unfiltered water gets into my smart water bottle. With this, I didn't have to worry about that since the hose goes directly into the water source and it's separated from where you're filtering clean water into your bottle. You know, every time you filtered water with the squeeze action, it was clean water. You didn't have to worry about it getting cross-contaminated onto the rim of your smart water bottle or anything like that. So that is an added benefit. This filter is expensive for what it is. I paid $54 for this filter, and it's a 2,000 liter kind of lifespan of the cartridge, and the cartridges are not cheap. It's something where, to me, I'd rather just buy a bunch of Sawyer squeezes for $20 a pop, or if you followed my trick before on getting a Sawyer squeeze for $20, that's even better. That hack for getting the Sawyer squeeze is up in the cards. Overall though, I want to say that even though this filter is not for me, I can see who it's for. It doesn't fit my style of backpacking at all. It's something where I find it kind of finicky, kind of annoying. But if you were a trail runner specifically who wants water kind of on the go, something quick, something light, something you can stash in your pocket, and you can do that pretty easily with this thing, then it may be for you. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and send this filter on to another Ohio YouTuber to kind of review it for me, kind of give his thoughts on it, well, their thoughts on it, because I know that they're both runners, and it's SBOutdoors. So check out their link in the description. This filter will be making its way over there to go ahead and get another review by them, have them test it out as well, kind of get their thoughts, their perspective, because they have a different style of backpacking and they do some trail running compared to me. But the option to purchase this is yours. You just be kind of going into it with your eyes open, realizing it may not be for you. Let me know what you guys think down below. Yay or nay from what you've seen. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Peace. I usually am not a big fan of kind of kinking hoses like this. It just kind of has this